in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
And we back at you with another episode of the Give Me My Crown podcast.
Yes, sir.
And this episode we have not really, obviously we know we had an election, last month. And we have not did a update. I know we did a pre-election podcast.
Yes.
Talked about just some of the policies that each candidate was going to implement or talked about implementing. And this is our first post-election podcast on the election.
I have a question before we dive into different things since post-election.
What's up?
The first question is, did you see it being this big of a landslide?
No, I did not. I expected it to be, I really expected it to be a lot closer. I expected it to be a couple of days before they called the winner.
I did not see it being the way it was. I was like, when I woke up and saw the map as red as it was, I was like, okay, this ain't real. Like,
yeah, it was surprising.
We always thought the term fake news. I'm like, this is fake news right here.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
It was. So what does it say about the country, though?
Huh?
What does that say about the country, the people in the country?
I think what a lot of people are doing, a lot of people are looking at current administration, and they want change from what we currently have. I think that's a huge part of it. Okay. Because if you look at just different stuff, if you look at inflation, if you look at just prices on everything, interest rates, things like that, I think people want to see change.
Okay. All right.
And I think in people's mindset, as the saying goes, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got.
That's true.
So I think if they feel like, hey, if we stick with this same party that we've had, it's going to be another 4 years of what we just went through. So I think that's what that's the mindset a lot of people have.
Okay.
Post-election, we've seen a lot of obviously we know the inauguration don't happen until January, but post-election we have seen a lot of changes already. For one, interest rates dropped very, very shortly after election day.
I just want.
So the housing interest rates drop, also mortgage rates drop.
Yep.
Which in turn makes it easier or makes it more affordable for people to buy a house. And as we always say, with that, also you have to keep in mind that that's going to also raise the housing prices.
Correct.
So it's like trying to buy within that sweet spot, because if you buy too early, you may have a high interest rate. Buy too late, you're going to have a lower interest rate but higher price.
Correct.
And also, before we get too deep into this, because we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, whatever we say on this podcast is not financial advice, so do not take it as financial advice. If we tell you anything that we've invested in or that we are investing in, do your research before we do. As Fred would always say, just do your research.
That's right. That's what every time you tell us, do your research.
Do your research and think or do your research on what you're going to invest in. Even if we tell you why we invest in it, our reasons might be different than yours. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So that's, like I said, housing market drop. What else do you see dropping? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, interest rates have dropped twice since the election. So that's twice within a month.
The Feds drop interest rates twice.
Yes.
Also, you asked me what I see. I'm gonna just say plain sight stuff, right? I go put gas in my car. Gas price is cheaper.
See, I can't lie. I don't even pay attention to that. I just put gas in my car.
I don't either, right? I just see the number on that, right? I'm like, okay. it was costing me almost $70 somehow. Now it was coming down. It was like 63, and then my final number, I looked up there. I'm like, dang, I feel my car for $52. Like what? Like I don't care about it, but I just look. I'm trying to see what's different, right?
Yeah.
People say I'm bougie, so I don't buy my food from the grocery store. So I don't know what grocery prices look like. So I can't really speak on that one. But just the eye test right now is just I see gas prices come down.
Yeah.
What else? I'll say my impact for another section of this podcast, I guess. But yeah.
But grocery prices haven't changed too much.
Okay.
If any, I don't. My wife does the grocery shopping, so.
Yeah. So neither of us got some on that. I got you.
So I can't tell you. She do all the grocery shopping. I'm like, all right, what'd you spend? All right, I don't know what you bought. I just know you bought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
What else has changed? I think we saw. I think it's how do I put this? It was a lot of controversy, I think, between a lot of people with this election, with the outcome, and also the way it divided a lot of people.
We are divided people as a nation anyway, right? So
I agree.
I simply say it's two types of people who vote. People who vote based on themselves and people who vote based on the country.
Yes.
So even it's a divide there. So I think what's best for the country has to outweigh what's best for me.
I agree.
So that's how I look at it.
I agree. And because I think when you have people upset, you have certain people upset because somebody didn't vote the way they wanted them to, but then you have people upset that somebody didn't vote at all.
Correct.
So, and I think that's it's almost like a double-edged sword. Like you want me to vote, or you're mad because I didn't vote, but if I go vote and don't vote who you think I should vote for, then you're still mad.
Yes, and I mean I'm gonna go in detail my situation. Like clearly you can see I'm a black male. People that's not a black male should not tell me, "Oh, you should vote this way."
I agree.
You haven't lived a day in my shoes to tell me you automatically get my vote. Like, I'm a person that I like to do my own research. I have my own mind. Like, let me select who I want to vote for. And if I don't vote, that's my right too. So, yeah.
Yes. I agree. I think because like you said, everybody's voting for different reasons.
Correct.
I might be voting because I like the way this candidate is doing this, or I like the way that candidate is doing that, or I like their policies versus these policies over here. So I think when you start talking to people and people get mad about who you vote for, they're not looking at. A lot of people don't ask why'd you vote for them. They're just saying, oh, you voted for this person or you voted for that person, but not, hey, why did you vote for that person?
Correct.
And I think, and like I said, I think that has, especially right after the election, it was a huge divide. It was like, oh, if you voted for this person, or if you didn't vote for this person, or if you voted for this person over here, like unfriend me on Facebook, don't talk to me, like just. And I don't think it should be that deep. I think because I think as a people we should be able to disagree, but yet still talk about our disagreements and still like be friends. Like we should be, if me and you have a different of opinions, that should not kill our friendship.
Exactly.
It should be a learning point.
Yep.
Because I asked you, hey, why'd you do this? But then you asked me, why'd you do that? And it's all right. Okay, I see your point. Okay, I see your point too.
Yep. Exactly.
So I think as a nation, until we start doing that, every election time is going to be this way.
Correct.
Because you got certain people who, like perfect point you just made. I feel like since you're this, you should vote this. Correct. Or if you're this, you should vote this. When it's not always that case, because everybody is at different places in their lives. So everybody is voting on certain things they see or certain things they want to see.
Exactly. Yep. And I'll say just looking at how other countries responded to the
Yes.
post-election too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have to look at every aspect. Like
Yes.
America, sorry, America's the land of the free.
Yes.
It is. It's accepted in America. But how other world leaders see us also is their eyes too. We can't push how we view the world on everybody else.
Correct.
Those countries have a right to view things a certain way as well. So yeah,
I agree. That definitely makes sense because you can't even if we have if the United States has a certain agenda that they want to push,
yeah,
they can't, like you said, they can't push that agenda on other countries because, like you said, we're a free nation. We don't want nobody telling us how to run our country. Why are we telling them how to run their country?
exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's a great point.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna say like another getting back on topic a little bit. The stock market. Like you
Yes.
saw uptick in the stock market right after the election as well.
Yes, because if you look at the stock market, and it's been said in numerous books, the stock market is not actually based on the numbers that a company is doing. It's based on projection or news of what that company might do.
Exactly. Yep.
So, and we talked about it before. There was one of the candidates. Their view or one of their policies would have severely affected the stock market.
Correct.
Whether it was going to be in a good way or a bad way, it would have severely affected it.
Like you look at like I'll say like oil companies.
Yes.
Like we know that he won Trump. He is for like oil. He's for natural stuff. So it's like these oil companies are shooting up. Like it is what it is. So I think it's the way you look at it. You have to look at it where I look at it to myself. I look at it from a standpoint of no matter who's president, I'll put it out there, they are limited to power of how the United States is set up. You got the House and you got Congress.
Yes.
I mean, the House and the Senate. So,
the Senate, yeah.
So you have to realize that whoever's president does not have so much power.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, everything they do has to run through the House and the Senate. So they can't just make a decision and run with it.
I have a question for you. Do you think the people he's appointed post-election have made impacts like appointing Elon Musk to a position? You know, like that right there in people's minds, like, okay, Elon Musk knows how to make money. So do you think that plays a factor in people's mind or no?
I think so.
Okay.
Because as we see with because obviously with Trump is not a politician, so he's not electing a lot of politicians.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time for the people. Say it one
He
more
is not a politician.
Thank you. Okay.
So a lot of the people he is electing is not like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not a politician. So I think when you when you look at certain stuff like that, it's how do I put it? There's a reason he's electing these people to these certain positions.
I agree. In my eyes, my lens, right? Where America is, especially financially, it's going to be tough for whoever was president to fix it.
Yeah.
He's actively taking a stance on trying to fix it.
Yes.
You know, to me, looking at his plan, whether it be the tariffs or it be, bringing jobs back to America, the caveat to that is Americans have to want to work.
Yes.
If Americans don't want to work, his plan is going to blow up in his face.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we've seen that. If you look back to COVID, when people were getting these unemployment checks,
yes,
a lot of people didn't want to work. So you had a lot of businesses closing down because they couldn't find people to come work for them afterwards.
Yep.
So I think that, like you said, that's gonna be huge. That will play a huge role.
Yep.
Another thing that has changed since he is
Where you going? Where you finna go?
crypto.
Yeah, we excited now. Let's talk.
So crypto is it has been ridiculous. Obviously, we've invested in numerous new cryptos, and we've already made money in a lot of them,
Yes.
or are making money in a lot of them, and even ones now we're looking at a bunch in pre-sale phase, that have not even came out yet that have potential to make money.
Let me say this real quick. I'm gonna say you said it one time already. Do your research.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of sleepless nights for me right now because I'm researching. But I feel like in my eyes, if people are going to become millionaires, it's a 2 to 3 year window that's to be grabbed right now.
Yes.
We have wasted as a country too much time being behind on this.
Yes.
You got certain countries now coming out, they're going to make crypto their official currency.
Yep.
And go ahead.
No, I was saying, and a lot of cryptos have already we seen one personally that we have that went up almost 1,000%.
Yep.
And that was in a 2-day time frame.
Yeah.
So, and then we see other ones that, like we said, ones in pre-sale phase have potential. Now, I will advise y'all when you're looking at crypto in pre-sale phase, do your research, because a lot of people can get scammed by buying crypto in pre-sale phase, because some of them, or it could be a lot of them, are scams. So you want to do your due diligence. You want to do your research. You don't want to watch one video on YouTube or see one post on Reddit and somebody said, "Oh, go buy this in pre-sale phase," and you go buy it, and then you lose hundreds, thousands, whatever, how much ever money you put into it, because that's how a lot of people are getting scammed out, because they'll do the pre-sale. As they collect enough money, they'll essentially kill the coin.
Yeah, like
and it'll never hit the market.
I won't say the coin name, but like one I'll tell you about the other day. I was reading the actual website, and the original website basically like you can't make money off of this coin.
Yep.
But people are not going to read that and just like, okay, they say this coin hot, like so I'm gonna invest in this. So this person is telling you you will not make money off this coin. Yep. They already got $2 million in pre-sale. I'm like, yo, so what's the point of buying this coin if I can't make money?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they have different. A lot of them have different uses. Also, some of these cryptocurrencies have zero use at all. It's just it's literally just hype.
Yep.
But then some of them have, if you actually read the white paper, some of them have some really great uses. And when you look at it, be like, okay, if I buy this now, and you look at the way the world is going and the innovation that's being made, the way AI is going, it's like, okay, this one might have potential.
Correct.
But like I said, you got to read on most pre-sale website, or most pre-sale cryptos, they have a white paper. You want to read that, because like you said, that's the one you read essentially said you're not going to make money off this crypto.
Exactly.
And you can do that. You can watch videos on YouTube. There's a lot of them that will tell you, if you certain websites you go to, they'll tell you which ones are hot in pre-sale phase, and then they'll tell you the pros and cons of each one. There's other websites that'll show you, all right, this one has a scam probability of this percentage. So it'll tell you the percentage that, hey, this one might be a scam.
Yep.
And it'll tell you the percentage, hey, this one might be real. And even that is not 100%. Yep. That's why you still have to do your research and see the use of the coin, because you don't want to buy something that, like you said, that, hey, you can't make money. You can buy all you want, but you will never make money off of this.
Yes, correct. And also when it comes to crypto, I think the coins that's shooting up are most likely, well, the ones that are steady shooting up are the ones who have utility. Like they have something to do, you know?
Yes, and I think a lot of them, are going to continue to rise, because if you look at some of them have projections that are at this point out of this world. Like you look at them and be like, I don't know if that's possible.
Yep.
But me being myself, if I see I'm reading all these projections and I'm like, all right, I don't want to miss the boat.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting money in it. If it hit that projection, great. If not, great. Because the way I do the way I do mine, and even with my through my financial coaching business, the way I teach people when I'm investing, obviously I don't teach them what to invest in, but essentially how to allocate them or what to allocate the money. Say, hey, put this to investments, put this to savings. The way I do it, I will never invest money that I'm afraid to lose.
Correct.
And when I say that, I mean I'm not going to take if my mortgage is $2,500. I'm not going to gamble my mortgage money on an investment.
Correct.
So I'm going to pay my mortgage, and then if I have money left over, all right, now I'll invest this, because that's one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to put your bills on the back burner or your necessities on the back burner for a potential, essentially.
I will say this when it comes to crypto: have a plan. Like
yes.
When I say have a plan, like if I say my plan is 2 to 3 years, right? Your plan might be to pay off credit card debt. Yep. Everybody should have a plan what they want to make. Like, okay, if this crypto goes, I bought it at 10 cents and it goes to $25. Do I want to cash out, or do I want to ride this train out for another 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta have a plan in place. Like I read a story the other day about a guy with Dogecoin, right? Okay, when it spiked up, everybody sold out. My man said, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. So he's been sitting in a hole, like not a hole because he's still up, but money he could have cashed out. But he like, okay, if they were saying back then he could hit $1, right?
Yeah.
If he hit $1 now, he gonna be one of the few people who
held out
the total game. They held out. So like, that was his plan from the beginning. His plan was, I don't want to work again. I need to hit $1. And you got to stick to your plan. Yeah.
Yes. And crypto is also you have to be careful with crypto because crypto is very volatile. It's not like the stock market. The stock market is, for the most case, you can kind of predict what it's going to do. And you will see, there are times where you will see huge drops, but you won't see, it's not very likely like it is in crypto. Crypto can jump 1,000% overnight. It can jump 10,000%, but then it can also drop 10,000%.
Yep.
So the volatility of it makes it I guess kind of scary.
Yeah.
But you got to have a like you said, you got to have an exit plan, because I was reading about this. It was one guy, I actually seen it on Reddit. For whatever reason, he posted his
no, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He posted it. So what he did, and this was back in 20. This was Dogecoin, before Dogecoin took off. I think he ended up buying Dogecoin. He had like 600,000 coins, and what he ended up doing, I think he bought them. He made like $300, and then he sold them in December.
Yeah,
December of 20.
Yeah.
And we know January of 21 is when it took off.
Yeah.
So, when he sold for, I think he cashed out at like $1,800. Something crazy, where if he would have waited 3 months, that would have been over $500,000.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do with it? Do you ride it out and risk it? Do you cash out now? It's like, that's why you said, I think you got to have an exit plan of what you want, because like for me, if I throw $200 in something and I see, okay, it just got to 1,000. I'm looking at I'm thinking in my mind, do I want to at this point take an $800 gain and say, all right, I'm cool with this, or do I want to let it ride and say, it's only $800. If I lose it, I lost it, and I only lost $200. But if it continues to go up, is that potential greater than the risk?
Correct. Yep. I agree.
Because with me, that's the way I look at it. Like, if I'm buying something, if it's not like crazy gains, me personally, most of the time, I will hold out depending on what it is. Now, if I read something and say, or if I read multiple things and say, hey, this is going to drop and I've made a decent amount of money, I'll say, okay, let me go ahead and cash this out. But if I look at it and I have and there's no news on it, or there's news, hey, this one possibly may continue to rise. A lot of times, if I hadn't made a bunch of money from it, I'll just let it ride out because, like I said, I'm not losing money.
I agree, and I will also say in this crypto phase, right? I call it the Nancy Pelosi effect. I watch somebody in this administration on how they maneuver, right? So Nancy Pelosi, if you follow her husband when Democrats were in control, you knew how to invest because whatever he invested in was going to go up. And I think with this administration, it's going to be Trump's son.
Yes.
Watch what he invests in, and that will be the same way as Nancy Pelosi.
And speaking of watching what people invest in, Ian said it best. Watch BlackRock. And
what cryptos are they investing in right now?
Exactly.
Oh,
look at the cryptos they're investing in right now. Read up on those cryptos, and there's multiple sites you can buy cryptos from. Some are greater than others. Some are not good at all.
With that though, look at which ones they invest in.
That's true.
I mean, it's there.
That's true.
They're not going to lose money.
Huh?
They're not going to lose money, man.
No, you can look at what platforms they invest in. You can look at what cryptos they invest in. You can look at what stocks they invest in, and they are going to invest in winners.
Yes.
9 times out of 10.
And like I said, look, watching his administration, Elon Musk does put out little tidbits about which cryptos to invest in.
And the way some of these cryptos work, especially the meme coin, all it takes is one person to tweet something about it, and it shoots it. Because when Dogecoin started going up the first time, that's what happened. Look at GameStop back in the day. GameStop did nothing different, but somebody wrote a post about it on Reddit, and it shot up a ridiculous amount overnight.
Wall Street bets, man.
Yes.
And speaking of Elon Musk and the Doge post, right? Remember, I won't say the name of the coin because I'm not a financial advisor. The one we invested in, and he put a tweet up with he said Godfather, God Doge, or something like that, and what did he say? Something about little father, little son something, and son Doge. And then we see a spike.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? We ain't seen activity in over a year.
Shoot, longer than a year. It's been 2 or 3 years.
You saw nothing. Like my balance was at $50 forever.
Yep, and it doubled overnight.
I'm like, oh, hold up, we got action, So yeah.
Yep.
So I think go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of these sites or a lot of these platforms, you can like I said, every platform is different. Every platform has its pros. Everyone has its cons. So me personally, the way I do it, I like to use different platforms.
Correct.
Because some have things that others don't.
Yes.
And they also have you're also able to use you're able to put notifications on, so it'll tell you, hey, this crypto has gone up this amount. This crypto is going down this amount. This crypto or your balance in this account is at this right now, or your balance has dropped by this right now. So I think that's very helpful because if you're not constantly watching it, getting those notifications will at least let you know what it's doing and let you know if you want to make some moves or not.
And I do think something that will continue to grow in this administration is like I said within the last year, being able to option trade with crypto.
Yes.
That's kind of started to develop. I think it's going to get even bigger over the next, 2 years.
Yeah, because if you look at what just happened, obviously the SEC was in competition or was in a lawsuit with a big crypto.
Correct.
And you see now with this new administration coming in, the SEC person is stepping down. Somebody else is stepping into that role in, I think, January.
Yep, January.
So that could be huge in one of two ways.
Yes.
So if they want a lot less regulation on crypto with this new CEO, then there's a lot more platforms that can reopen.
Yes.
Or I wouldn't even say reopen because they're not closed, but they're not available because you got a lot of them are not available in the United States, and some of them are state specific.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
So and so you got to pay attention to that when you sign up. But when you sign up, it'll tell you. Obviously, be truthful on all your stuff because it'll tell you, hey, if you live in this state, you can't do this. So don't try to say you live in another state just to do something because it's location wise too.
I want to say it goes off your phone's location.
Yeah.
Now, there are ways around, but we will not talk about that on here. I'm sorry. People who are tech savvy understand what I'm saying, but
yes,
you said a trigger word, and I don't want to. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. You said a trigger word. I have a question for you. You said CEO.
What's up?
We see the news, current news about what happened to United Healthcare CEO was murdered. Yes. Do you think that has anything to do with post-election, or do you think that's an isolated event? When I say anything to do with, right, I'm saying like people having a different mindset of, because evidently I haven't seen it, but they say when the guy shot the guy, he smiled. But the way people, I don't know if you've seen the post, how people are like cracking jokes about it. Like to me, man, anytime somebody die, that's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Like I've seen different things where people like, because of when you go to a doctor, right? Like it's in network, out network, certain different things that people can get certain health care.
Yep.
People took it as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, because my thing is, anytime, like you said, anytime something like that happens, because that man has a family also.
Family, yes.
So you gotta, I don't care if you don't like him or you don't like his company.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, he's working for his family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you got to look at it from that aspect because now his kid's gonna grow up without a dad. I don't know how, if you got kids, I don't know how old they are, but now his wife is a widow. Just stuff like that. So I don't think so. I have seen a bunch of posts where people taking it as a joke or people making jokes out of it. And personally, I don't think it's a joking matter.
Yeah.
I do see I do see in the future a lot more companies that are going to, because a lot of companies now already have security for their CEO. Yes. But I can see a lot more companies stepping that up and even trickling down from the CEO now, just like top executives in the company.
I agree.
So maybe CEO, CFO, just president. Like I can see now, a lot of these big companies, especially if they can afford it, a lot of these big companies are going to have 24-hour security for their CEOs and for their top executives.
Do you think it had anything to do with the post-election? I
don't know.
Okay. Sometimes people try to tie things together. They'll say, what's going to happen if, he won't president? So that's why I was asking, like, do you think
it could? Because me personally, I've not read any big news on the company. Yeah. So I don't know if anything big happened with that company lately.
Not that I know of.
Because obviously it was isolated, so he knew who he was going after.
Yep.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew who his target was.
Exactly.
Like there was obviously something behind it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting when they come out and give a reason or a motive behind it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that'll definitely be interesting, and I'm waiting to see that because I want to know like why he did it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Are we missing anything about obviously there's 1,000 things we could talk about post-election. I think we hit a lot of the main topics unless there's something else you could think of.
I can go another 20, 30 minutes talking about crypto, but I'm trying to, not really. We will see what policies come out.
Yeah.
So, like you said, he's not in office yet, so we still have to see what comes. Yeah.
Yes, and we'll have to see a lot of the stuff that he said is how are those policies going to be implemented.
Excuse me, because one thing we do know, when he was in office, everything he said he was going to do, he did.
Correct.
So that's one thing nobody ever debates. So we will see how this plays out this time.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it'll be interesting. I think I think you like you said with crypto, stock market, things like that. Definitely the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
I think crypto is gonna. Me personally, I think crypto is gonna take off. But like we said earlier, definitely do your research because yes, you can make a lot of money in crypto, but yes, you can also lose a lot of money in crypto.
Yep.
So it goes both ways, just like with the stock market. You can make a lot of money in the stock market, you can lose a lot of money in the stock market.
Yeah, I know.
And so
I personally know you can lose a lot of money. So yeah, I know.
so definitely do your research and know what you're getting into before you get into it. Don't get into it because somebody else told you to, unless you're talking to an actual financial advisor. And even then, you still want to do your research.
Exactly. I'm about to say the same thing because, like, you got to think about it. We've not been a fan of crypto for so long.
Correct.
A lot of financial advisors ain't gonna know much about it.
Yeah, a lot of people stray away from it. I actually talked to a guy the other day.
Yeah.
And he's a financial guy. He said he's not in the crypto world. He said he does not know anything about it, has never bought crypto.
Yeah.
So even when we had our talk, he said, I think I'll start looking into it just to see what it's about. He said, because I see a lot of people talking about it. I know a lot of people make money from it. He said, me personally, I just don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm gonna do my research and see what it's about.
And like I said, like my honest opinion, excuse me, coming to crypto, it's easier with a team.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have people who can fact check what you see as well. Yeah.
Yes. That's huge because there's been a lot of times I see one and I'll be like, hey, check this out. Or you see one, like, check this out. And then we'll be like, nah, I've seen too many stuff on that one. That's a scam.
Yep.
Or we'll be like, yeah, I think we need to go ahead and get this one. We've seen a lot of good stuff on there. So definitely get a team because you got more eyes looking and more people searching than just you. Because when it's just you, sometimes you can get a little biased towards certain stuff.
Yep.
And all you see is the positives and you kind of ignore the negatives.
Exactly.
So definitely get a team because everybody together, it makes it better because if they see what you don't and you see what they don't.
That's right.
But we'll be back soon. Like we said, do your research. Anything we said on this podcast is not financial advice. So do your research before you decide to invest in anything because while you can make a lot of money, you can also lose a lot of money. So definitely do your research, talk to a financial advisor. And as we always say, before we get off every podcast, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't